And we're back! Let's talk a little about the last fight before we move on to the next. I enjoyed Hulk vs. Godzilla, until it became Banner vs. Quantum Lovecraft, then I lost interest. I did not expect the guy with a loss to Doomsday and a loss to Brawley to end up the most powerful character in this season. It feels like this season keeps escalating power levels. I dread to see how high they'll push Superman's power levels when they drag him back onto this show. But we leave the fight of the past and come to the fight of the now. Let's look at the next matchup. Oh no, it's Ruby from Ruby, and she's fighting.
Who is that? Yeah, it's an anime girl. Who is she? She's from old school, like the Toonami, Adult Swim.
Oh, right, I remember that. Oh, she's from that anime series with the black blood guy that killed Venom. Well, this one takes me right out of my knowledge base and then some. But I was able to get through Mahito vs. Shigaraki, so I should be able to get through this. Let's look at Ruby first. She has a scythe that converts into a rifle, and boy how I wish I had that in Bloodborne. She can use her ki, which is called Aura in the Rubyverse, to enhance her physical abilities, and she has special power generated from her aura called Semblance. Semblance of what? Are all Ruby's special powers illusions? No, they're real? So what are they a semblance of? Oh, the questions that are gonna keep me up at night. Ruby's semblance is that she can transform into a cloud of rose petals to move quickly. Hey, that's how Spawn teleports! Except his form of teleportation involves breaking himself down into particles and not petals, and traveling at the speed of light. Death Battle is gonna say the petal ports is several times light speed, aren't they? Well, okay, so what else does Ruby have? She has dust bullets, which are basically bullets with JRPG elements attached to them, and she has the Silver Sight. I'm not sure what it could all do because the movie didn't really show Silver Sight doing that much. Oh, Silver Eyes, my bad. Ruby's Silver Eyes petrify Grimm with just a look, but they work on Grimm, or those tainted by Grimm. What are Grimm? Grimm are soulless monsters without aura who were created by the God of Darkness. They're heartless, symbiotes, the specters from Heart of Darkness, and you get the idea. Now let's look at Maka. Maka's powers stem from her soul, specifically the wavelength of her soul. She wields a scythe, but instead of being part gun, it's part boy. And Maka can combine her wavelength with his to increase her power. Her wavelength is also a special anti-demon wavelength that can cancel out effects of magic and madness, which is basically clown-flavored magic. Maka can also use her wavelength to cancel out weaker wavelengths, in other words, to nullify spiritual powers. Maka doesn't have as many gimmicks as Ruby, and most of her attacks are some form of making a big cut with her scythe. But she does have a dress made of black blood. Black blood is evil goo that spreads madness. Maka is able to use her dress to enhance her powers without falling victim to its craziness. At first glance, Ruby has the edge on Maka due to being able to use her scythe as a gun and her teleportation power. But then you look at their feats and, well, let's look at their feats from Soul Eater, shall we? Now that's the moon, and that's the moon covered in blood. No one in Ruby's show comes close to this level of power. In a straight up fight, Maka destroys Ruby. Ruby has only one or two ways she can win. The first is to use crossover scaling with DC and BlazBlue, but everyone is gonna cause shenanigans if they do that. And no one believes Ruby is multiversal level because she breathed the same air as Superman. I mean, absolutely no one. The second is to rely on hacks. Hacks! When you can't outsmart your opponent, out-magic them! The argument for Ruby's Silver Eyes taking out Maka is that Maka uses black blood, and black blood is like Grimm. Well, at first glance, that checks out. They're both evil black goo, but there are some key differences. Black blood has a wavelength, it's got a soul in other words. Grimm don't have souls. Aura in Ruby was a creation of the God of Light. Grimm were made by the God of Darkness and don't have aura, they're soulless. So even if Ruby's Silver Eyes has some sort of effect on Maka's black blood, it should be blunted by the presence of wavelength. There's actually a better argument for Maka beating Ruby through hacks. It goes that since Maka can suppress spiritual powers through her wavelength, she can turn off Ruby's aura and semblance. I'm not sure I completely buy into that because aura isn't a wavelength, so it doesn't have the same frequency for a counter frequency to work on. But it's still a better argument than Ruby winning through Silver Eyes. So yeah, I'm betting on Maka to win. Big surprise there, most of the internet is backing Maka, so Until next time, I leave you with this question. Should the winner of this matchup fight Eric Williams?